Yeah, that's fine.
Perfect. So I just started the recording now. For those who are watching the callback later, we're going to do a listing audit for Kelvin, and then we're going to deep dive into the new Price Labs feature that I was just showing the two people in the call right now, but we're going to go back into it. So, um, let's see. Were you able to drop that listing?
Yeah, something I can't. I'm having a little technical difficulty. Let me
All
try to
good.
log back into my Airbnb
Okay. Yeah, my
page.
Airbnb like logged me out randomly today. I wonder if it's um
Let's see.
And just while Kelvin's finding his listing, I'm going to show everyone on, that's watching back how to quickly. Sometimes it's like when you're new, you're not even sure how to drop your listing into the chat. So if you click on your listing and go to view on the bottom left, so that's the listing editor, you can click view and then, oh, yay, we bumped up. That's exciting. And then we can go to share in the top right and copy link. And then in Zoom, if anyone watching this isn't used to Zoom, if you hover your mouse at the bottom of the screen, you'll see the option to select chat right next to participants, and then you can Command V and paste your link into the listing link. So I don't ever want people to feel intimidated when we do listing audits like this. Kelvin, thank you for being vulnerable and being willing to share this on the call. Um, because it's really helpful. It says, let me see. There we go. Okay, I got it to open. Now let me
Okay.
find my screen share. And I love Dana. I know you're here. Sometimes you've got stuff going on behind you, but chime in with your opinions and thoughts as well. It's always helpful to get all the eyes. So, okay. Let me kind of orient. Again, we're in Tallahassee, 8 guests. We've got a 3 bedroom, two and a half bathroom. We have 4 reviews so far. And I think we talked about this last week, Kelvin. Remind me how long you've been live.
I've been live since October, but I actually, for some reason, I get a lot of my bookings from booking.com for some, I don't know why, but
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
actually get a fair bit of booking.com and VRBO. Like I don't
Amazing.
get
Yeah.
as many Airbnb. Well, I
Okay.
guess I'm starting to get more Airbnb. So if I have four here, I probably amongst the other two, I probably have like 10 maybe.
Okay.
But I
10
get
reviews
like my first
total.
couple.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So 14 reviews if we're looking across
Right.
3 OTAs-ish, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Probably reviews, probably like 10, probably, I would say, probably total of 10.
Okay. Awesome. So that's a really good point. A lot of times in these calls, I'm like, Airbnb this, Airbnb that. And it's almost like the word Kleenex. When we're talking about short-term rentals, we're actually using a tissue, but we all call it Kleenex because their branding is so strong
Right.
that it's become this household name. So it's the same thing with Airbnb. And then I obviously, that I think the interface of Airbnb is just so much more friendly and it's much easier
It
to kind of
is.
understand, yeah, and talk about.
Yeah.
So Kelvin makes a really good point that just because I talk about Airbnb and I say Airbnb, it's really important not to neglect VRBO or your booking.com. And when I do these listing audits, you want to take the information that I'm talking to you about and also open up your VRBO listing, your booking.com listing, and make the same changes. So don't neglect them, especially if you're getting lots of bookings on them. And it feels sometimes like it's a lot to focus all of your energy on various OTAs, but if you're using Hospitable, it's getting easier. There's a hope in the future that all edits are going to be able to be made in Hospitable and push out to every OTA. VRBO right now, it's just in limbo with the connection. So as far as I know, you still have to manually go into VRBO to make edits to your listing. So don't forget about it. And
Okay.
just for the record, VRBO also likes to see hosts making changes and optimizing. So they
Mm.
note that,
Okay.
and it's the same thing where they are going to favor and push listings that are reliable, that get good reviews. Theirs is called Premier Host instead of Superhost. So you probably are going to earn Premier Host if you haven't already on VRBO before you even earn Superhost on Airbnb. So your traction is probably going to continue to even pick up faster, is my guess on
Okay.
VRBO. Yeah. Um,
Okay.
so yeah, it's a balance, right? It's not just I'm not getting bookings on Airbnb, so let me focus on Airbnb. Focus on them all, I guess is the big takeaway. And if you'd like as well, you can send me your VRBO listing link. And if you want me to just kind of
Okay.
glance at it, we can do that too. So
Okay.
right off the bat, I love your photos. Your design is pretty. I see pops of color. We've got a different photograph or part of the room in your top five photos. Um, we've got a living room picture as our first photo. Okay, let me look at some of your reviews. Yeah, because you're near the college.
Right. Yeah. I'm on the same street as FSU.
Okay, yeah, that's why we were talking about those minimum nights and in the fall, even possibly reducing your minimum nights and increasing the rate for a 2-night stay.
Okay.
Um, okay, it's fun amenities, ping pong, games, projector. Oh, nice, you have a projector outside.
Yeah.
Okay. One suggestion too, just as have when you have backyard amenities, it's often easy to forget to monitor those. So it's a highlight I can see, and I can assume guests are going to love that amenity for your
Right.
listing. So just make sure you have a system with your cleaning team to,
Hmm.
at least weekly check the outdoor amenities and make
Okay.
sure, projector's not sitting outside or getting rained on or
Oh no,
whatever.
I've had an issue with that. One guest stole it.
Oh, really?
Yes. So
Uh-oh.
my cleaner came in and she said, Kelvin, your projector is not here. And I was like, what? So yeah, I called them and they knew they took it. They tried to unfortunately put it on their kid. They
Oh.
said,
Oh,
"Oh
that's
my gosh, yeah, my son took it. He put it in his bag." But I mean, it's not huge, but it's big enough so if somebody carried that out, you would know.
yeah.
So they end
That
up paying. They zelled me the money for it. So
okay. Whew, I'm glad that you handled that. And also that poor
I'm
child getting
glad she
blamed.
checked because I would have never knew. She was like, "Yeah, your projector is gone."
Yeah. Okay. So anyone watching this back, note that. And it can happen. And good kudos to your cleaner. Like that's exactly who you want having being the eyes and ears on your property. And the more your cleaner's there, the more they know your property, the busier you keep your cleaner, the more they're going to have your back because it's a co-dependent relationship. Like we need each other for both of our businesses. So she has your back or he and
I actually
definitely
got her too through Airbnb a B&B leverage referral. Actually, the cleaner that was on the list no longer does cleaning. She's
oh,
gotten into property management, but she referred me to this person.
good. Okay.
So
That's
she,
all
yeah,
about
so she, yeah,
yeah.
so she's been great. I've had some other little issues she's found, and it helped me to get on it very quickly.
Yep. Yep. And if you don't have someone who cares, then you're going to be SOL for lack of a better term.
Yes,
And so, treat her well is my suggestion. Because when you get a cleaner, from coming from someone who's had a lot of experience with really poor cleaners and teams that are difficult to work with, the ones that are your gems, treat them really well and they will
yes,
stay by your side. So, and that's important too. You can even just make kind of a checklist for big ticket items that, maybe your cleaner turns on the TV and just to make sure it works, or, they check that the ping pong table's not like there's not damage to the ping pong table or the projector, things like that. So your cleaner knows by now. Eventually, if
Now,
when
I didn't even think about the actually turn on the TV. That's a good one.
yeah, the amazing gem of a cleaner that I have in here in Colorado, she does that in and it's time stamped as well. Just because especially for anyone who has like pool tables next to TVs, things happen, or maybe you have a game room and it's just more likely that things are getting thrown around and it's like a play area. TVs can break and they can get hit by ping pongs or
Okay. Yeah, that's true.
pool sticks. And so maybe it doesn't need to happen every single turnover. You'll kick yourself if you don't do it every turnover. And the one time you didn't do it is when the TV was broken. But what that allows you to do is be able to pinpoint exactly when it stopped working, and then you can actually charge the guest. It's a huge
Right.
bummer when you can't pinpoint the timeline. And then when that happens, unfortunately, we can't charge guests. So it
Right.
becomes a cost of doing business.
I have a
So
question on that.
yeah.
Like when things like that happen and you said charge the guest,
Mhm.
is there, because I've had things that happen and the way I've handled it is just to call them and then they Zelle me. But is there like a more formal way through the platform that you can charge their card? Do you have to go? What is that process?
Let's talk about that.
Because
So
I've
Air
had a couple of things. Unfortunately, they
yeah,
haven't been super bad. But
yeah,
I've like that rug that's in the dent, like guests
yeah,
come in, basically vomit, all kind of crap. I've had
yeah.
some stuff that happened, and I had to like hurry up and trouble. And luckily, everybody, I have one issue I got to rectify, but luckily, everybody's like, "I'm sorry, blah 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 happened. I'll
Yeah.
Zelle you the money, blah blah." But I know every guest is not going to be like. Some people are going to
Oh
like,
no.
"I'm not
Yeah.
doing anything."
No. And I would recommend trying to keep everything on the platform if possible.
Okay,
Um, the phone numbers in Airbnb they may not work after a certain amount of time. So, let's
okay,
say, and then what Airbnb is trying to do is make it so, hey Shreya, welcome. Uh,
Family.
hey, we're doing a listing audit. So, and we're talking about claims now a little bit, but drop your listing, Shreya, if you want me to review it as well.
Sounds good. Yes, you can do that.
Um, so what Airbnb is trying to make happen is make it harder for the host to be able to contact the guest outside of the platform. So they're even creating like false phone numbers that are connected to a phone line of Airbnb. So it's not the real guest's phone number. And that way, you can't have their contact because Airbnb sees the guest as their client, and technically they are. So what they want to avoid is guests or hosts being able to call guests after and say, hey, if you're coming back, for football season, book my property from my, just via Zelle, like just pay me.
right.
Um, so I just worry if you're not yet familiar with the air cover system, one day, Kelvin, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, this number doesn't even go through. Like, this isn't, now I have no way to contact the guest. They're not going to respond to the Airbnb message. So you'll want to start using air cover. And
Okay,
essentially, so let's go to, um, I'm going to kind of walk through what that looks like.
okay,
And hopefully it's not something you have to do that often. I actually have a claim, you guys, that I have to file. I need to get that done today. Um, let me do. Okay,
While
so
you're looking at that, how long do you have after the incident happened to report it as a
yes,
claim?
yes, so 14 days maximum.
14 days. Okay.
Yep. And that means the claim needs to be submitted at the very latest hour third or the last hour of the 13th day. It can't be 14 days and 1 hour later. So
Gotcha.
look at this to kind of give you an example. So this is the guest. I actually do have to file a claim for this guest, and it's telling me that I have 45 hours left to review. Intentionally have not left review for this guest because I'm waiting until the end of the review period, which is the same as the end of the claim period. So
Okay.
you can use this as your timestamp for how much time left you have to file a claim.
Okay.
So I've got 2 days, less than 2 days. And if I submit my claim 46 hours from now, I will not get any coverage or any support. There's zero leeway. And this will eventually count you down to the minute. So, um,
Wow.
yeah. So don't even, I mean, like, I have had that happen before where, this was early on before I know what I know now. We all learn as we go, but I tried to submit it even just like an hour later, and they were like, too bad, so sad. You missed the time frame. So, and I get it. I uphold my policies as a host. Airbnb upholds their policies as well. I understand. So what you will do is what I like to do is always um, s- draft the claim the day that the guest checks out. So let's say, Kelvin, you had those guests, your cleaner arrives and tells you that the projector is missing. The minute your
Mhm.
cleaner tells you that, I want you to go into your Airbnb account and
Okay.
you'll scroll down to the side and it's going to say air cover for hosts. And then right here, instead of finish request, mine says finish request because I've already drafted it. It's going to say dr start a claim or something like that.
So it's on the
So
messages tab. Like I see you're on the messages. So that's where
this
you'll
is,
find it.
yeah, this is where I go. I'm sure there's other
Okay.
routes to achieve
Okay.
the same process, but I just like to find the guest and I go to their
Okay.
messages tab and then I'm in their reservation details on the side, which is
Okay.
again where you'll see review information and then you just scroll down till you see air cover for hosts and then that's where you're going to file a claim. So, a common misconception, which you can do this too, um, if you've like already spoken to your guests, let's say, and they've said, "Oh yeah, we stole it. We're gonna pay you." Instead of doing it through Zelle, you can just go right into Airbnb and send or request money. The reason I like
Okay.
to do that instead of Zelle is because if the guest just says, actually, I'm not going to pay it. I was just being nice to him on the phone to get him off my back.
Right.
He sent me the Zelle request or whatever. I'm going to ignore it. Then you're kind of
Right.
just like, what are you going to do? Keep calling them,
Right.
you know? So if you have requested money, then, and the guest admitted to stealing or whatever they did, ideally
Right.
you want that admission in the message thread. Um,
Okay.
and that is used as a form of documentation. We're like lawyers over here sometimes, I feel like.
Right.
But then you'll just request money and you would put the reason and you could just put, um, you know, guest whatever, guest agreed to pay for broken projector and then request that money. And all the guest has to do then is open the resolution and click pay, and then it's done. If they don't pay it, you then have an option to escalate it to Airbnb, and then Airbnb will help you contact the guest and or uh, pay for it themselves, depending on the amounts. So that's in the really fortunate, lucky case of if a guest agreed to pay you, and you still
Okay.
want to be careful of, let's say they didn't pay you and you reached out to Airbnb for help. I still, maybe Airbnb is going to try to not help you for whatever reason. I still would go in and file a claim as well. So
Okay.
this would be like first line of action.
Okay.
So let me go back to that particular example. and I'll kind of show you what a claim looks like. Where did he go? Brian. Silly Brian. Okay. There he is. Um, so I already drafted my claim, but this is what it looks like. So again, I have to finish this. I have to do this today or within 48 hours, and I will set an alarm and I will actually submit it with like 1 hour left on the clock. So,
Man, is
it,
that strategic to make sure
Mhm.
you don't have any retaliation reviews or something?
Exactly. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And it just reduces the chance of friction and an interaction with a guest that I don't want to have. So
Okay.
it's 100% strategic. And yeah, it's so far at this point, this guest probably thinks they got away with the damage. And it can be, you know, what happens when you submit a claim is it's going to go to the guest first. It doesn't just get filed
Okay.
to Airbnb and the guest never sees it. It goes right to the guest inbox. And oftentimes, when you wait till the 13th day at the last hour, the guest will be very mad because they don't understand why you waited 2 weeks, and they'll say things like, it couldn't be me, this is, you're not asking me for money until 2 weeks later. And so I've really worked on the way I message the guest within the claim to explain the reasoning behind the delay in asking them to reimburse me. And it makes sense because as hosts, sometimes we have to get quotes, we have to get invoices, we have to get carpet cleaners out, and but we have our time-stamped evidence, and we upload that time-stamped evidence, and guests can see exactly what you upload in the claim. So don't believe their arguments. They're just trying to fight you and not have to pay for it. And on the guest end, they essentially have an option to partial pay, to pay it in
Okay.
full, or to decline. And my most guilty guests will always decline the claim. And then
Right.
as soon as they decline it, you get a little email and it says, it's usually within seconds of me filing the claim, guest declines.
Right.
And then I get the email, so and so declined, no surprise there. And then I go in to the claim and I submit escalate to Airbnb. That's when
Okay.
the claim process truly starts. So then Airbnb will email you and they will say, I need your invoices. A lot of times they're going to do everything they can to not pay the claim, like any
Wow. Okay.
like any insurer. I mean,
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I don't want to talk badly about all insurance companies, but I think it's kind of a thing, right? Where most insurance companies, the people working for them, are gonna try to not pay out the claim, and they probably as a worker get some sort of bonus for doing exactly that
Yeah.
because everyone's worried about their bottom dollar. It's the way that it works here. So but I have to say I have 100% success with claims. And that's because of everything I teach you guys in these coaching calls, with the timestamps, with you can send screenshots of a text from your cleaner. Hey, just arrived to the property and projector is missing at this time and this date. So
Right.
all evidence that you have, submit it. And if you have invoices and you can show screenshots of extra payments that you sent to vendors that had to come out to help, or even just the Amazon receipt of the cost for the projector or wherever you bought the projector,
Right.
um, that usually is enough, and they'll pay it because it's in their terms of service and they know they have a legal obligation as long as you follow their rules, to
Right.
to prove your case. So,
Right.
but essentially, this is what I'll be doing later this afternoon. So, when I draft a claim, it's essentially just I'm putting something so I can save it and exit and timestamp the claim. So I have the next 2 weeks to work on it, but it's been timestamped that it happened that day. with that guest and that I was aware of it
So when you
then.
say it's timestamp, meaning you put it in there but didn't submit it?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So it
Yep.
records when you initially type it in there.
Exactly. Yep. So let's say I
Okay.
And
reached out to Airbnb. Oh, go ahead,
oh,
Dana.
sorry. Can you
Yeah.
go through and can you edit it at any point in
Yes.
time?
Yep.
Okay.
Thank goodness, because I probably wrote something really silly in here. So yes, when I say timestamp, I am saying that if I even contacted Airbnb support right now and I said, hey, I just wanted to check, is there a draft for a claim for this guest with this reservation number? And they can look in their system and see the exact time that this claim was opened. And they'll be able to see that it's just drafted and that it's not finished. So they may, if I did that, they may even say, make sure you file the claim by, the time. So then you're just gonna upload your information. Um, this is what I should have done on the entire call. I should have had all my information ready and just gotten the claim done while I was on with you guys today, but that would have been efficient. So basically, you're gonna just mark what they did. Did they smoke inside? I really dislike how they give you this is intentional, right? They only give you these options: smoke, odor, stain, mess left by unapproved pet, mess left by unapproved guests. Usually, just click. I mean, this wouldn't cover theft necessarily. So, more if you even click more options here, there would be liability claims that you could file. Hopefully, you never have to. Or it's telling you to request money for additional services if that's the case. But so in your case, let's say, something is stolen, I would probably do at the end of the day, I would just select one and start uploading that way. And you could even start a support thread with Airbnb support and document the issue in a message thread as well, and even say what should I select. So that's what, part of the commission that we're paying Airbnb every single booking is for their support. So it's not just for the marketing. You can utilize their resource that is there, which is their 24/7 support line. So don't be afraid to do that. But then what you would do is you would upload the evidence. So it's going to say they want multiple angles of damages. Obviously, in the instance of a stolen item, you'd probably try to take a picture. You would upload your listing photo with the projector set up, and
Right.
and then maybe have your cleaner just take a picture of where it's supposed to be, and
Right.
maybe because instead of calling the guest, you got the documentation in the message thread of the guest admitting the theft. Um, you could upload that screenshot. Uh, so you kind of get creative sometimes. And
Okay.
yeah, and definitely just kind of if you're going to message a guest to quote unquote accuse them of something, just be prepared that could initiate a retaliation. They may act nice in the messages and then they may be really mad. Or they may say, well, we have to pay extra now for this. So we actually are mad about something that they had let go. Maybe they arrived and there was a missing bath towel, but they didn't say anything to you. Well, now they're
Right.
probably going to take the opportunity to, some people can just be kind of revengeful, not everybody.
Hmm.
So you gotta get in the head of someone who's upset and just think through all of that before you kind of make the decisions on what you're gonna say and do. Um, it feels complicated. It's really not. I think you guys get the gist of what I'm saying here. Um,
Right.
yeah, but you'll get creative, you'll upload everything, and then you'll have the option to either say, yes, I hired a professional. And usually I just say I hired a professional, even if I was the one that went and did the extra cleaning. And I invoice for my work that I do because I don't do work for free. So I have a LLC and I will invoice that work if I go do something for my own property. So
Right.
there's no reason, that you can't do that, or you mark that you did it yourself, how many hours it spent, the cost, and then you would upload invoices, um, anything else, receipts, all the things here. So,
Okay.
um, cancel. So I'll probably not go to the next page just so that I don't accidentally submit something when it's not ready. But the next page, you guys, is just going to bring you to um, it's going to bring you to a page that says, what would you like to say to your guest to alert them of the claim? And that you're speaking to the guest, but also not really at the same time. You're documenting uh what happened. And that's, hey Brian, thank you so much for staying with us. Upon your departure, we noted stains on the bed sheets and excessive cleaning needs and cigarette butts inside the home. Our the reason you're getting this claim request at this time is because we needed time to collect invoices, whatever, however you want to word it, but it's also just another form of documentation. And that message is important because that you have to notify the guest of the damages within that 14-day time frame, and that message is what counts as the notification to the guest. So if you just left that part blank or you didn't explain the reason for the claim, that would be reason for Airbnb to say, well, you never alerted your guest or gave them the reasons for the claim and then deny it. You guys following that part?
Emily, I have a
Yes.
question. Is there any minimum or maximums when you're filing the air cover claims, or like if there's something very basic or small, which like the cleaners took care of it? So do you file for that, or
Yeah, I like to determine a threshold for my business. And so, you have to determine, okay, that filing the claim takes time, right? It doesn't take hours, but it does take time and like unquantifiable time as well, which means brain space and, waiting till the last minute and tracking when to submit it. And so I determine whether that amount for me is $20 or $50 of, okay, this is worth it for me to take the time to file this claim and get reimbursement. Usually anything, this is a secret that I don't know if everyone knows, but usually anything under $50 gets covered by Airbnb with no questions, because they have the same thought process of it takes resources for their customer support team and their claims department to go through every claim. They get hundreds of thousands of claims, a month. So if they just get this little claim for $25 for to replace a sheet and there's clearly an image of a massive stain with a timestamp, they're just going to pay you right away. So I mean, at least in my experience, because I file the claims correctly, somebody else may not be doing it correctly, and then they get denied and say, well, Airbnb doesn't cover anything. That's not my experience if you do it right, which is why we come to these coaching calls. So,
thank
um,
you, yes.
yeah. So with that said, Shreya, it's like there's nothing, I don't think they'd pay you for like, I don't know, maybe they would reimburse a $5 item. I've never tried that. I kind of want to now, just to see. But I think it's worth it. If you have to replace sheets and you've got the time and you've got the mental bandwidth and you can do your process of filing the claim in less than 30 minutes, $25 is $25. I don't know. That's kind of my thinking with that. So, and then as far as a maximum, uh, if you're submitting a claim for like $1,000 or more, the I swear, I don't know how Airbnb works. I wish I could just like get in there and be like, who's working where and what is your department and what are you told to do? Because certain amounts have different responses that you'll get from the support ambassador. So once we hit a certain dollar amount, like $1,000, the questions get tougher. The request for more documents gets more thorough. The process takes longer because they're reviewing the information even more than the $25 claim. But that's, I think, again, that's how all insurances are going to act. So yeah, I don't think there's the maximum. We could look in the terms of service of Airbnb. They have to lay that information out, but I think you could file for any amount. Yeah.
Okay,
Um, yeah. Yeah.
thank you.
So,
So Emily, I
yeah.
just wanted to ask, I know we only have 15 minutes left, so I
Mhm.
wanted to make sure you get a chance to do
Yes.
the listing audit.
Yes. We totally took a side. We went down another alley there. So hopefully that was helpful.
Oh,
Um,
it was. It
Yeah,
was.
yeah. And we started talking about that because we were talking about your projector, which,
Yes.
so that was the end, really, of filing claims, you guys. But if we are looking at your photos, okay, so I'm just wondering if we switch out, I want to see your exterior photos because I know summer, no, you're in a good season in Florida right now for outdoor
Right.
being in the outdoors. I almost, we've probably mentioned this before, but getting twilight photos if you can, um,
Okay.
would be really beneficial because your backyard is really cool. You've got a dining space out here, you've got games, you've got the projector, a seating area. Maybe you add a fire pit eventually and or a grill eventually just to have more amenities. It looks like a
I
Bluetooth.
did have a
Yeah.
grill, but in my lease, my landlord does not like to have that because actually, my landlord actually owns the house next door, and she
Oh,
let
okay.
them have a grill, and it was a they had to file a claim. So she's real
I get
picky.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I get that. And yeah, there's a lot with girls. It's like I've had someone before who had no idea how to twist open a propane tank and it like they ended up using a fire extinguisher because they didn't people don't always know how
Oh,
to use grills.
wow.
So I hear
Right.
that from your landlord's perspective. It makes sense. Fire pit, I guess it's another fire thing. So maybe she
Yeah.
feels the same. Yeah.
Or even
Um,
maybe some string lights or something just to give it like a little mood setting or something to
So I do
the
have string
space.
lights. You just can't see it in because it's the daylight, but there are
yeah.
strings. Yeah.
Perfect. So then maybe the
That
twilight,
twilight.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it makes a big difference, Calvin. Like let me show you. Okay, so
And then the other suggestion I would have if you're gonna end up redoing pictures at some point, maybe
Okay.
adding in some like lifestyle photography, like having a family or friend group out there, you know, sitting outside, having, you know, drinks or something, watching a movie or kids or whoever your like guest avatar is. And if you're going to be taking some pictures or people playing cornhole or like the ping pong table or something just to show them being used so people can like imagine themselves playing and using that space or people gathered around playing cards or something at the table, something like that. If you're going to already invest in the money to take some more pictures, if you have a group, I think I saw in the circle group, you know, someone suggesting um, maybe if you have a group of guests that you can come up and draw up some agreement where you could, I don't know how, you know, she knew these people or whatever, but they exchanged photos and the right to use the photos in it exchange for free pool heating or, you know, some type of free amenity. Um, that might be uh an option too. Or if you ever travel down there with your family or friends, you can get a photographer and um you could be the models for your photos.
yeah,
Hmm.
Dana is like the queen of lifestyle photos. Her listing is beautiful. Dana, share your listing link if you don't mind, and Calvin can then see an example because sometimes it's hard to find examples of the lifestyle photos done tastefully. So if you're willing to share, I think that'd be helpful. And that's a really good suggestion. It's a marketing, a way to market and make guests really feel like they're in the space. So really good suggestion there. I don't want to forget to say this. I would check private entrance because you do have a private entrance.
Mm.
So it's not gonna like make or break bookings necessarily, but it's still worth it to check that. Then I wanted to check okay, because you're by a football stadium, you are going to ultimately end up hosting families. Like it's families that are coming to football games or couples that have newborns because they're coming back for homecoming, all the things. So do you have a crib and a pack and play? Or just,
I have a pack and play.
okay, I would remove crib since
Okay.
it's a little ambiguous, but when I think of crib, I think more of a structure that is permanently set up in a space. And then I think of pack and play as like the foldable uh,
Right.
sleeping space. So I would remove crib so someone doesn't accidentally say, "Where's the crib?" And then you have
Right.
someone upset. I would add a high chair if you can. They're $20 on Amazon. Then that's an additional amenity to mark. The more amenities we have, the better. I would add children's dinnerware. It's again $10 on Amazon. And when maybe you already have these things. I don't know, but
I don't
if
have the children
okay.
dinnerware.
Okay. And if you already have a high chair and it's just not checked in the amenities, make sure you go and do that because to have things in the listing that aren't advertised. It's just kind of like a missed opportunity. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, having like little bowls, little sippy cups, and little kid forks and spoons, you're gonna make a family's day by having those things. And I get comments all the time on that. So it
Mm.
it will
Okay.
elevate the guest experience and it will reflect in the review. And then the people catch on, the more reviews you get, the next family that's reading reviews says, "Oh my gosh, they have a high chair and children's dinnerware. That's the one we're gonna go with,"
Hmm.
because it implies a thoughtfulness. And that's hospitality at the end of the day. So,
Okay.
yeah, so I think those things are worth it. And there's very few markets that shouldn't cater to families or, very few listings, I would say. Um, but I would add as many family amenities as you can, and that's going to help you a lot. Okay.
Okay.
So we have some updates on amenities for you to make. We talked about adding, I love your backyard space. I want it to pop more on your
Okay.
first five images. Even this ping pong table with the string lights around, kind of like setting the mood and the vibe, or even two little people in the background playing cornhole, it can make a big difference with your marketing in
You
general.
Okay.
may temporarily until you could get the photos done. And I know I've said this before, but you could play around and see potentially with like AI if they could add like a sunset, um, like sky in the picture just to change it up a little bit. Obviously, you want it to keep it looking realistic and not to change it from what it is, but just while you're in the process of, getting those photos done, at least it could be something that you could do temporarily, which I think we did in one of our pictures for like um the fire pit or the day that we had like the lifestyle models that were there. It was like crappy weather. So there was some editing that was done on some of the photos initially, and then we ended up taking some more at a later date, but just a
Yeah.
thought of something
So Dana,
temporary.
did you do your own editing or you have like a professional that knows how to do the AI stuff? Because I'm not as tech
We
savvy.
no, I mean, we had a photographer who did stuff, but I think one of the pictures we played around with on our own. And I think I'm not any like tech savvy person, but I think I put it in like Chat GPT and I dropped the photo in there and I said add like a a sunset twilight or something. I forget exactly how we did it, but you can still keep the photo as is, and then they should be able to edit um,
Okay.
the sky, and you could see if that changes anything, and then you can come up with ideas and maybe photos or areas where you would want lifestyle pictures to be done and make it worth the while, like when you're doing it all at once, to have someone come back to get all the shots that you're looking to get.
And
Yeah.
Dana, your lifestyle people, were they like family and friends, or how did you arrange
So
that?
for one, the initial one was through the company that we had used, and they sourced models for us, which it killed me because we knew a photographer down there, and I was hoping we could find like a family that, I would. I have a friend who's a photographer, and if she said to me, "Oh, hey, would you mind, like, I'll do family photos for you if you model and you know, would be willing to allow those pictures to be used for, an Airbnb listing or whatever," I would probably agree to that and not be paid or have to pay for the photos. But we ended up paying for the models, and then eventually some of the pictures in our listing is actually a trip I went down with my mom and my aunt and my kids, and I just had the photographer come when we were there because I'm like, I don't want to pay for another family to get like photos taken. So we um came up with some ideas and of the house and um game room and stuff we wanted to highlight, and the photographer was great, and he, worked with us, and we just used some of those pictures, and we did a mix of, it was a girl group getaway, and some of the pictures, that those were the models that we hired, and then the ones with the kids in them is myself and my mom and my aunt. So like I said, if you look on the app, someone, I forget who it was, just posted that they did some type of exchange. And obviously, if you're using models or another family, you probably have to like make it legal and have some type of agreement. But if you have family who's going down there, then that's a different story. But oh, it was Grace who shared photos on the monthly challenge. She just said that they had some agreement. So that's one way to try to capture it. But you need to also know like what it is. You don't want like all posed photos. You want it to be kind of like using the space and playing the games and in the
Right.
backyard. Um, so that's something to think about too. But in the meantime, if
Okay.
you want to play around with things, you can use AI.
Yeah. Yeah, those are really great suggestions. I'll try to find some other examples too, and we can kind of review that in another call too, lifestyle photos. Um, Kelvin, I have some ideas for your
Yes.
title. And
Okay.
so I actually, just having done this listing optimizer, you now get the benefit of me paying for this because I learned that Airbnb is not liking the line, which I knew they didn't prefer special characters, and I, for whatever reason, always didn't consider this a special character. But what they're looking
Okay.
for is a more descriptive title. So, like the
Okay.
suggestion I got was to change what I had was hot tub, near skiing, game room, pets. And so it's just like listed. And this is all new to me, but they're preferring shorter titles that are more sensory. So, mountain home with a game room and hot tub, and none of the special characters. So you may say family home close to FSU Stadium and leave it at that. And the other thing that I personally have learned from Price Labs, Listing Optimizer, we are not wanting to use abbreviations. So I don't know about college abbreviations. I cannot speak to that necessarily, but BD, not everyone is gonna just like in their brain understand that that's bed. So
Okay.
I would remove that. And it's redundant because we already know that it's a three bedroom, right down
Okay.
here. So avoiding abbreviations is going to be a positive thing. Maybe even just saying Florida State, and that is going to make you more search engine optimized. If people are in Google typing Airbnb near Florida State University, and maybe I don't know, I can't speak on SEO, but maybe it's worth trying. I don't know about college abbreviations, but it might be right.
Okay.
It might be worth it to spell that out. And I think you're right. This is looking cluttered to me. So,
Okay.
and that's what Price Labs Optimizer has also informed me. So I'm speaking data backed here.
Okay.
This might not feel like a big deal, but I want you to put a picture of yourself or you and another person with a smile and a picture that you like, obviously, that makes you look really nice. So, it has been proven, just in various AirDNA studies and telehost, all the things, um, people are more likely to book with a face. And so, property managers that have logos, there's a natural assumption when someone is booking with a non-face photo that's it's less personalized, and that may result in someone feeling like, oh, we can trash this place. That's just a big property manager, or just a logo or a picture of a city, and
Right.
so they don't have a connection to you. So
Okay.
that's my suggestion. Get a nice photo, and that will help. Guests feel the same as when we feel as hosts. When I get someone who was able to make a booking with like a picture of a train track, I had that recently. I'm like, who are you? You are not a
Right.
train track. It makes me feel uneasy and kind of weird. So,
Okay.
I think that's going to make a difference for you, Kelvin. And then lastly, fill out your Airbnb profile. So write a blurb about yourself. Hey, I'm Kelvin. I live in Atlanta and I'm a short-term rental host, or whatever you do, whatever you want to describe yourself as, and let guests get to know you a little bit, again, because you're a human.
Right.
People are craving that human-human to connection. I've actually had people reach out to me about something in my bio, which I was like, oh my gosh, people read this. Uh, and with that, Airbnb wants to see that you have filled out everything, and your profile included. So take some time, do it tonight. Just like take 10 seconds, ask ChatGPT to write you give ChatGPT 5 things about yourself and have it write you a blurb. Um, so yeah, it may not seem like it, and maybe, us doing this isn't going to get you a booking right away. I hope that those changes help, but it does make a difference in the long run. So
Okay.
optimization always comes before everything, including pricing. In my opinion, if your listing's not optimized, then, you're not set up for success right off the bat. But I do, yeah, I mean, any other specific questions? I can stay on for like one more minute. I know we talked about claims for a really long time. So, um, just look here. Okay.
Would you have
Uh,
a minute to go through mine or no?
we can do yours quick. Yeah. I did you drop it? Oh, I didn't even see that you dropped it. Oh, and Dana did provide her link, which
It's
has
beautiful
her
property.
examples. Yeah.
Correct. It's beautiful.
So Kelvin, thanks for staying on. If you need to log off, totally fine. Um, I hope that was helpful for you too.
No, that was helpful. I'm
Hmm.
just saving Dana's link
Yes.
so I can
Um,
look at it later.
cool.
Yeah,
Definitely
give it a
do that.
like.
Yes. Don't forget to wish list each other. Oh, did I wish list you? There we go. I say it and then I didn't do it. I'll put you in friends listings. Okay. So, Shreya. Okay. Same thing for you. Abbreviation. This is new information for me to just not do the abbreviations. These are considered special characters. So remove the circles
Mm-hmm.
and then let's make your oh, are you getting guests that are there for like an oil job?
It's the stadium. So the
Oh.
near, so
I know nothing about sports.
yeah, it's a big stadium, so people are there for concerts or games all the time.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So
that's is
describe
that. Oh yeah, that's Indianapolis. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
describe that and play around with just being more. Now this is going to be my new thing that I'm telling everybody is to play around with titles being more sensory driven or like painting a picture versus bullet lists.
Okay.
Yeah. So near Lucas Oil, I'm just trying to think if you should put like stadium near stadium for concerts and football games or something like that. I just don't.
Yeah, I think it would help to say Lucas Oil Stadium because
It
I
would.
kind of know what it is, but
Yeah.
like if you just quickly graze it, you might miss,
Mm-hmm.
oh, Lucas Oil Stadium.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wish I had the answer on that. And maybe it would be worth it, Shreya, to do.
I'm gonna play with few names.
Yeah, and you weren't on the call at the beginning, but I paid for the listing optimizer within Price Labs and it gave me some title suggestions too. So it might be it's like 12 bucks. It might be worth it. And it will analyze your title specifically against properties in your area.
And price labs you mentioned.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it's a new feature up in the top.
Listing of yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's essentially what we do on these calls, but it's better because I'm not a computer and I can't pull in data from all the other listings in your area and Price
Uh-huh.
Labs can't. So,
Yeah. Okay.
so play with that. Okay, let's see. I know you had made some updates to your photos, lots of pops of color. You're getting more reviews.
Yes, I
Wow,
try.
you are.
I'm
Good
trying to.
job.
I stick it to like even to the 13-day last hours. Like if I don't get a review, I make sure I try to get one.
Good job. I'm really excited for you because you were stuck for a while, a less than
Mhm.
five, and then a 4.9 rating, your guest favorite now. I remember saying, like, you have to get guest favorite. And so you persevered and you did it, and that is awesome. Um, let's see. So that alone is like, it's just going to continue to help you. Let me go to your amenities. I just have to make sure you're probably
Emily, I
good.
have a question for you.
Yeah.
Does the listing optimizers have anything to say about collage photos as your first like hero shot? Do they comment on that? Like, is that a good thing, a bad thing? Does it not really matter?
Good. Yeah, good question. My listing that I used doesn't have a collage, so it didn't comment on it specifically that I know of. I just read this once and I need to read through it all again. But yeah, that is something, Shreya, to think about, which we've talked about this, I
Mhm.
think. I personally prefer a more minimalist five
Look.
photo. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know you're trying some branding here too. I don't know if this is necessarily going to make you stand out
Mm-hmm.
to have. And if you go on your mobile phone and you start scrolling through, just see if it looks cluttered on the mobile phone because a lot of people are just scrolling on their mobile device. Um, yeah, a lot of people use collages. I prefer non-collages for that more simplistic, minimalistic look and vibe and feel, but you know your listing best. And maybe Price Labs, the listing optimizer, would tell you that. And if you do run it, tell us
Mm-hmm.
what
Okay.
result you
I'm
get.
gonna I'm gonna do that. Yeah, when I'm using through mobile, it's just the first collage that pops up and rest as individual pictures. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Okay,
like
because
not
it's
everything pops up
one,
together. Yeah.
that's one picture, and then this is two. This is
There's
Oh, I
four.
see. I see. There's one collage. Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Maybe it looks nice. I haven't looked at your listing on mobile device. We're always on the computer together, but use your best judgment there and then
Hmm.
please report back what Price Lab says because that'll be data for the rest of the group too.
I'll do that. Yes.
Cool. Let me see. You have a nice photo. Is your profile filled out? I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Your response rate is good. Oh, I just thought of something, Kelvin, I was going to ask you too, because I just
Yes.
thought of it with Shreya, you're not allowing pets, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And your landlord isn't allowing it, and that was,
Hmm.
yeah. Kelvin, does your landlord allow pets?
No.
Darn. Okay. Whenever I can convince someone to allow pets, I do everything I can to try. But if you're restricted by your landlord, that's totally fine. And there's not much you can do unless you feel like negotiating with your landlord. Um,
I
and
tried that.
okay. And the
Yeah.
worst you can hear is no. That's my
Yes.
thought about it. So, um, but with that said, I do have to hop off, you guys. I've got somewhere
Mhm.
I've got to
Yeah.
be. But I hope this was at least a little bit helpful
Yeah.
and you guys learned how to file claims, got a new tool to play around with if you feel like
Sharia, could you share your link? For some reason, I didn't see it.
Yeah, I shared it to Emily personally. I'll reshare it to you. I'll reshare it to everyone in the group.
love it. Help each other out, you guys. Um, I appreciate you all being here, and I'm gonna see you guys next week.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Bye, you
Thank you.
guys. Thank
All
you.
Bye,
right.
Emily. Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Thank you.